If I were a boy, then I wouldn't be a girl. Welcome back to another one of my videos. If it's your first time listening to me, I will try to not waffle on about things, and I will try to get straight to the point, because you know, you come here hopefully to listen to what I've got to say about this, not about random things, which I tend to get into a lot, like just random stuff all the time. So I will try to stay in the subject of what I'm talking about. Anyway, I hope that you are well today. I hope that you are ready for some type of conversation about the meaning of dreams. Right, so I have to introduce this subject by talking about my obsession with the dream world. Dreams affect me in a real big way, right? I would be sleeping next to my boyfriend, and if I have a dream about him doing something that's hurtful, I would wake up and attack him. No. I mean, I would wake up and attack him verbally. I just wouldn't do it physically. Anyway, I would literally wake him up and say, I just had this dream, explain yourself. Oh my gosh, it was such a bad habit. Like literally, I can't help but like feel like dreams are real. So then I'd wake up and I'd be like, why did I just have a dream of you doing this? Explain yourself. Literally, if the roles were reversed, which they never are, because why is it that all of the boyfriends that I've ever had don't even dream? Anyway, that was in the past, because obviously I've calmed down a lot now. And as the time's going past, I'm starting to realize that maybe dreams are a little bit fleeting, and they actually don't have like this real massive fundamental truth to them. I look into dream stuff a lot, right? And they always say, oh, you got to pay attention to the little details, and you got to pay attention to the ones that are like really weird. But technically, I can't recall one dream I can recall and it's like, yes, that has come true. Though I would say that sometimes what happens is that the feeling that I feel in the dream comes true. But then what are the odds that obviously that it would happen, wouldn't it? Because like, for example, I would dream that like this guy broke my heart and he was my boyfriend, he broke my heart. And then in the end, we did go for a breakup and I was heartbroken. So then the feeling in the dream did come true. But the details and the why I was heartbroken in the first place wasn't like the same. So I don't know if that would be a justification of like, you know what, people should tell me if they have dreams with me, so then I can tell them if it's like accurate. Because I feel like sometimes, yeah, like the reason why we might have a dream about something is because like we are observing something and we're not really admitting it in the waking life. So then you go to sleep and then your dream then makes sense of all these things that you're trying to make sense of, and then they put it into a dream. So then technically it could just be like your perception of things, like this is how you're perceiving life, and then you go to sleep and then like it just comes out. And then somebody might be like, yeah, but sometimes I just have like random dreams, like I don't think my boyfriend's ever gonna cheat on me, and then I go to sleep and then he cheats on me. But what if like you're observing certain things in his character that is not, you know, it's not adding up? And it's not that you're like concluding, oh, I don't trust him, or oh, but you've just literally just thought to yourself, that's not adding up. You've not concluded that that's a bad thing or that's a good thing. You just said to yourself, oh, that's not adding up. And then maybe then your brain takes that and says, oh, well, something about this person's not adding up. Let me try and explore this not adding up. And then boom, like these dreams come out of like, is this what I'm saying? Is this what I'm observing? Is this what's happening in life? So I feel like there's a certain type of suggestive realities that your brain might come up with. I've got a list today because I'm trying to be well organized with doing videos, because I want these videos that I do to be helpful to people. So dreams, the meaning of dreams, let's do this. So like I said, right, there's a lot of people out there who really dive in deep into dreams. So spiritual people will be like, it's a message from your higher self, meaning that you have some type of soul level existence, and then that soul level existence is like trying to guide your human level existence, and then they send you messages through your dreams, like for example, don't trust this man because he's not for you. Even though I don't know, I don't like that type of interaction there. Some people believe in that. Other people believe that like guides or angels are trying to communicate with you, or like other beings are trying to communicate with you, and they come into your dream and they're trying to like warn you of things. So all of these things are just all like quite negative, because it's like, let me warn you that you shouldn't be doing this. Let me warn you that that person is not great. And then I guess then scientists would scrap all of those ideas and they say, listen love, your brain's just being creative, it's just throwing at you images, making sense of images, creating images on top of images, and then it just plays them to you because it's literally a function that your brain has, that it goes to sleep and then it starts to and then it spits out all of this creative stuff that has nothing to do with anything apart from creative power of your brain. Well, I don't know if I can assume that there are angels. Obviously, I used to believe in all of that stuff like really deeply. Hence why I probably like woke up like angry at my boyfriend if I had a bad dream with them. But now I don't know if I can conclude that there are, because obviously like this world, this existence of living in this brain is so lonely. And when I say lonely, I don't mean like I feel alone. I mean I am alone. I am alone. And so I don't know if I can say that angels are trying to help me or they're trying to guide me, because actually I would go to sleep, right, for about 2 years. Every single night I would just ask to have like a nice dream, like can you please show me who I am or take me on an adventure, so then I have like a really beautiful sleep and a beautiful like dream. And I've said this before, 2 years in a row, every single night after I asked that question, I would have nightmare after nightmare after nightmare after nightmare for 2 years non-stop. And every night I'd ask, can I please have a nice dream tonight? Can I please not have nightmares tonight? And then I'd wake up the next morning and I'd be flooded with the memories of having bad dreams. So where are the angels? Where is God giving me messages of like nice things? Bearing in mind that none of these like dreams really came true. I mean, they might come true in the future, but what was the point in all of that? And then some people will be like, oh well, you were being trained, you know, you were in this dimension while you was like having lessons given to you and you've got to train to deal with all this negativity. But aside from all of this, like other people's ideas about dreams, right, I have to then analyze my own brain, I have to analyze my own self, right? And so then I do that. And what I've realized about my brain is that it seems to go into a life of its own when I'm not awake. So me being awake here, I have like a massive influence in what my brain does. Meaning I can say to it, no, stop thinking about that. And then it'll think about it again. I'm like, stop it, I don't want you to think about that. And then it'll do it again, do it again. And it's just like this like ongoing fight or ongoing conversation or ongoing influence as to what my brain does. But when I start to go to sleep, that fight or that influence just stops, and then my brain literally just seems to have a life of its own. Literally, even sometimes I'd wake up and it's just like doing maths, and I'm like, why are you doing maths? I wasn't even thinking about maths. Why are you doing maths? Or I'd wake up and it's like having conversations about how to change the world, and it's like, I just want to go to sleep. I don't want you to be doing this. And so then it feels like it has a life of its own. And actually, because I'm being so analytical right now of my brain, because I'm trying to understand why this brain is in charge and where is God, like why is this brain being left in charge? Anyway, so then I'm analyzing and I wake up and literally that first second I witness it making up a story. And it's like making up a story of like, so Sally went to the shop, and then Sally like went into the shop, and then she picked up a can of Coke, and it's like, it's just literally just making up a story. What? And I'm like, why are you doing that? And then as I start to like gain consciousness, then I start to decide, okay, well, we're not going to talk about Sally anymore. I'm going to think about my existence now and not talk about Sally. But before that, it was literally playing this like Sally story for absolutely no reason. A lot of spiritual people would say, oh, no, but there is a reason. That could have been your past life. Like there's just so many like explanation as to why that would happen. But literally in connection to my existence right now, it has like no relevance, right? And I know some people find relevance because they are trying to like make sense of everything through just making up stories, because really, where is God and why are you making up stories? So, and it's funny because like this information bank that my brain seems to have in the background is actually filled with things that it's not even necessarily that I've put there. Like for example, who's Sally? I've never even like met anybody called Sally. I've only ever seen a Sally on TV. And like, why is she buying a can of Coke? Like I don't even think about cans of Cokes. And when I go into the shop, I never buy a can of Coke. Why is she buying a can of Coke? Like these like random things Like, why is the information bank in my head like banked all of that information? And it seems to be like playing with this like infinite possibilities of stories, and then it just starts to like bring them out as I start to like lose consciousness. It starts to like bring them out. So then I guess then, if I'm starting to be honest and I'm not trying to make up fairy tales about what's going on when I go sleep, like maybe, and I know this is hard to say because if you wake up from a dream of your boyfriend cheating on you, it's really hard to just kind of say, well, that was just my brain being creative. For me, it's really hard to say that because like, what if it's not? And actually, I just saw you doing something, like you just cheated on me. Oh no! I saw it. You can never unsee it. So I feel like if that happens, that you do need to give yourself a bit of time, or your partner needs to be patient and kind of try to like replace that imagery and replace that experience and say, okay, but this is what's this reality, this is what's happening here. And actually, I'd love for that to happen to me, so then I could sit there and kind of really observe, okay, so you must have some type of insecurities. Like, for example, if you're getting about your day and you're thinking, I wonder if Nayna will fancy that guy, I wonder if Nayna will fancy that guy, and then you go to sleep and then you have a dream of me cheating on you, it makes sense that that's why you had that dream, because you're there in your waking day like thinking about these like random things because you're insecure. So then I'd be able to make sense of them. But if somebody said, no, but I'm not insecure, I don't do that, then I'm like, why? Then why? And then could it be then that you pick up like information from others? You know, you might see something and then you might just put me in that situation, or you might have watched the program and then the girl was cheating on the boyfriend, and then you go to sleep, and because you spend so much time with me, you've replaced that character with me, and then I did the cheating. And I feel like the brain is so creative like that it just does that, and it's so independent that it would just do that. And I have to add here that sometimes, yeah, some dreams feel so real. And again, I'm sure science and the scientific people would literally explain that as like, yes, but that's the function of your brain. Like, your brain is real, like it feels things, it creates things. But again, somebody who's like trying to make meaning of life, they would say that you traveled to a different dimension, you traveled into a different place, and you were really there, you was really experiencing it, your mind was really experiencing it. And actually, people who astral project and they leave their body and they visit different places and they do all of these like testings, they actually stick by the fact that your brain can actually exist elsewhere away from your body. Science doesn't really talk about that, so but these people who do it, they claim that it's really real. So I do wonder then if like the dreamland is a mixture between experiences that you have seen, experiences that you have been through, things that you have seen, things that you have thought, and then literally then your brain then takes all of that and it's like, what do I play with today? I'm feeling a little bit negative today, let me go into the negative world. Oh, I feel a bit positive today, let me go into the positive options. Oh, I feel a bit lovey-dovey today, let me make the perfect relationship come true with the person that doesn't even exist. And I don't know, like, if the brain is just like creates whatever it wants while it's dreaming. But what's interesting about this stuff, yeah, is that these dreams then really do impact your waking life. So when you wake up, it does actually change you a little bit. So for example, if you did have a dream of your boyfriend cheating on you, even if you got past it, it would either influence you to trust your partner even more, or it will influence you to just be a bit weary and just, you know, don't trust people too much because they might just turn on you and stuff. So literally it does impact you. So dreaming really does impact you, and I wonder if that function was created on purpose to influence you. So you go to sleep and then you wake up and you're influenced by what it is that you dreamed of. And I don't know if somebody's there like in the background like influencing what you do or don't dream, or if they come into your dream and they're like trying to play a character, because then how does that work? And why can't they do that in like a positive way? And this is where like science argues that it's just, you know, it's not a spiritual thing, because then why wouldn't they do things that are valuable? Like for example, Nayna, let me influence you to behave in a nice way, or let me influence you to see things in a positive way, or let me answer your question that you have about this, or let me give you advice about that. And instead there's none of that, there's just like random things. So if somebody could be in the background playing puppets with my dreams, which is what people assume sometimes is happening, why don't they do things that are helpful instead of things that are just random? Like, oh, I'm walking down the street and, you know, the cat does something. Like, why wouldn't they just take that opportunity to kind of like teach me things, you know, or answer things that I've been asking about, or just be helpful? And there's none of that. in my experience of dreamland, there's none of that. And I guess other people will then argue with that, and they'll be like, well, my dreamland is helpful. Somebody always comes into my dream and they're like do, and they talk to me and they advise me. So then that begs the question, why do they do that to you, but why don't they do it to me? And then somebody would be like, oh, because you're not supposed to. You're supposed to go down the hard road, Nayna. You're supposed to suffer because your destiny is different. And you are destined to do this, and that requires you to suffer. No! Okay, so I'm gonna have two different conclusions here, because actually I don't know which one is right, because I don't have access to it yet. So either conclusion number one, your brain is playing around and it's giving you options of what to do in your waking life. It's literally like, I'm gonna play around with all these ideas, and then you're gonna wake up and you're gonna either be influenced by those ideas and you're gonna try to make them a reality. So I get to give you ideas, right? Or there are puppets in the background, they do influence your brain and they're trying to guide you. So either way, actually, they're kind of the same thing. Like, I'm giving you ideas, I'm trying to influence the things that you do, and here's a dream, and now please be influenced by it and please do something about it. But either way, you're given these options of like alternate realities, and what do you do with them? And then when you wake up, you're influenced by them or you're not influenced by them. And actually, that actually begs the question, do people even care about dreams? Do they even care? I don't know if they care. I care. Yeah. It maybe depends how strong the dream is, maybe depends what happens in a dream, but basically our dreams there to influence you. Anyway, I feel like all I'm concluding here is that dreams definitely influence you, and maybe it just gives you some type of perspective, a further perspective of what you can explore in life and what you can pay attention to if you want to, and then that's it. If God changes my mind and God shows up and tells me something different, I will be back to talk more about dreaming. Until then, take care of yourselves and I shall see you soon. Okay, bye.